welcome to another episode of Anthony Scouts. Glad to be back for another episode. Hope everyone's good. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all blessed. Hope you all had a fantastic week. The Premier League is back, and without further ado, it's time to might as well get straight into it. It's been another thrilling week of football. This is why we love the Premier League. Action-packed, surprises. Thrills and spills, and I think there's only one place to start with Tottenham and City. Manchester City 0, Tottenham 4. I think was the surprise result of the weekend, if I'm being honest. I know City are on a bad run of form before then, 4 games in a row, 4 defeats in a row, but yeah, to lose in the manner they did was really shocking. And it was I think it was surprising in a way. Yeah, the manner in which they lost, the manner in which Tottenham quickly dispatched of them. And for me, what was shocking was that even despite the 4-0 loss, City had loads of chances. I mean, I saw the XG. I saw the XG. I saw the XG. I was analysing the XG and all that stuff, and they get all the matches, and I was seeing that City had 2.3 XG, and I'm thinking, wow, that's a major underperformance. City did have a host of chances, despite Tottenham winning 4-0. Tottenham had 2.74, something like that. So that signifies that it was a really close game. It's just that Tottenham were clinical. But yeah, you can see how City were just exposed. They don't press as they used to. The pressing is not as, aggressive, structured. It's not as in tandem as it used to. It's a bit messy, and that's large part down to the midfield. I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, City are missing Rodri. That's why they're so exposed, that they're so open in midfield. If Rodri was there, I think the same issues would have still occurred. City's press is not as it used to. It's not as I said before. City's press is not as it used to be. They're not as aggressive. When I was watching the game, I was thinking how Tottenham were getting in and amongst City's midfield, and I'm thinking it's all too familiar. I'm watching United right now. City have turned into a club that they hate. City have turned into something that they hate. United, I was thinking, wow, the midfield is so open. Tottenham are, players like Maddison and Sarr and Bissouma were given the freedom of Manchester. I'm thinking, what's going on here? But yeah, Tottenham were exceptional. Tottenham were brilliant. They were clinical, as I said before. The XG was so close. It was a close game in terms of chances created, quality of chances created. That's what XG is analyzing and detailing, and signifying, that the quality of chances on both ends was close. It was a close game in terms of that respect, but Tottenham were just clinical. Tottenham took their chances, and it showed. But yeah, the way City were exposed, and I've been saying it for a number of weeks now. The team is at the end of their cycle. I know Kovacic was a blow. He's now out for 4 weeks. That's another huge blow for Guardiola. And I'm surprised he didn't start. Or he didn't. Matheus Nunes didn't get a run up, because I thought he would have been excellent for that kind of game. He's a player that wins duels. He's a player that he's expansive with his passing. He's agile. He's he's got legs. City need legs right now. Gundogan hasn't got legs. Bernardo Silva is not as mobile as he used to be. You don't see him running around down the wing and beating players easily like he used to. City need legs. Rico Lewis, with Gundogan and Silva at the state they're on right now, you can't expect Lewis to cover the ground and to eat up the large spaces that they needed to when Spurs were getting in amongst the midfield. And I'm thinking, why didn't James McAtee, why didn't Matheus Nunes, why didn't O'Reilly, why didn't these guys get minutes? Why didn't these guys, these are players that have the legs. These are players that, can cover large spaces, can cover ground, can stop Tottenham's, attacking potency. And I was thinking, you know, I was really shocked. Guardiola didn't, you know, make those changes even when, you know, Spurs went what 3-0 up 52 minutes. I would have thought, let's bring on some legs. Let's see what we can do. 3-0 down, we're City. We can come back. But Guardiola just left it, and I thought it kind of worried me in the fact where Guardiola thought, you know, we've lost this, guys. Let's just move on now. On 52 minutes, when Pedro Porro scored the third goal, I was thinking, wow, you know. But, you know, yeah, things are worrying for City. If I'm a City fan right now, you know, as much as I love to see this right now, 5 games on the trot losing, as a United fan, I'm loving this. You know, we've never lost 5 games in a row ever since Fergie left. If I'm being honest, Fergie never lost 5 in a row. So it's kind of sweet to see City, you know, suffer this kind of tough spell right now as a United fan. But again, you know, with me, I like to watch the intricacies. I like to see the reasons why City are not at the level, you know, why Guardiola isn't, you know, whether it's the manager's fault, whether it's the players, whether it's the personnel, whether it's the tactics. You know, we know Guardiola's a tactical genius. We know how good he is, how great he is, how special he's been over the past years, you know, 4 or 5 years, winning 4 trophies, 4 leagues. You know, and for me, I don't want City winning the 5th, and that's why I think this moment is well, it's not bittersweet. It's really sweet. You know, but yeah, I think City, for me, are at the end of their cycle in terms of the squad. Like I said before, Gundogan not at the level he was. I know Rodri's injured, and if I'm being honest, Guardiola did not buy Gundogan because of, you know, did not buy Gundogan to play as deep as he has been in Rodri's absence. He bought Gundogan to be that extra man, that extra quality in attack, you know, feeding balls to Haaland, playing alongside De Bruyne and Foden, you know, and again, yeah, the injuries have hit City a lot, hit City quite magnificently this season so far. So, you know, Gundogan is not the level he once was in terms of covering ground and breaking up play. Bernardo Silva's not as he once was, you know, when he, you know, playing him in the midfield alongside Gundogan and Lewis, you know, it just didn't work. I really thought he was going to play Mateus Nunes. I really thought he was going to, you know, he would have been Mateus Nunes would have been excellent. You know, he's a man in form. You know, he's had a spell in the team where he's looked good. He's looked up to the levels that Guardiola wants. Even in the last game in the Carabao Cup tie between them about 3-4 weeks ago, Nunes was arguably one of the best players on the pitch, or the best player on the pitch. And I'm surprised Guardiola didn't put him on the pitch. I thought he would have been excellent for City in terms of, you know, he's got the legs. Nunes can run. You know, we think, oh, he's an attacking player. He's either De Bruyne type. No, Nunes he's an advanced 8. He's also a deep line 8. He can play in those middle third. He can conduct play. He can break up play. He can also, you know, progress the ball in terms of passing, in terms of ball carrying. That's what City needed for me. You know, with Tottenham was squeezing up the middle of the pitch, swallowing and suffocating City. You know, you needed a Nunes to carry the ball out and get City out of trouble, and then, you know, also keep things solidified in between, you know, the defence and midfield, and it just didn't happen. So I think that's a mistake on Guardiola's part. I think with Liverpool coming up at Anfield, I really hope, you know, well, I really do feel Guardiola will think, okay, I made a mistake with that team. I might have to start Nunes, because against Liverpool will punish City more than Tottenham it did. And we think 4 goals would be bad enough. You know, Liverpool could score more. If that is the level City play at on Sunday against Liverpool, it will be even worse. So, you know, Guardiola's got to change something. I do feel if he can, I've never been a fan of Grealish in a City shirt, but in the way Grealish controls things in terms of keeping the ball tight, you know, giving City time to ponder, to probe when Liverpool defend. You know, I think there's something. Play Grealish instead of, you know, I don't think Foden was good on Saturday. I think Foden was poor. So if I had to drop someone, I think it would be, you know, I'll drop Kyle Walker. I'll put Rico Lewis back at right back. Kyle Walker was poor once more. I think I've said it on numerous episodes previously. Kyle Walker is not at the level he once was. He should not be starting games anymore for England and for City, and I hope Guardiola knows that. We saw it. I know Timo Werner had fresh legs, but it's always going to happen. But the way Kyle Walker was beaten, that was embarrassing. You know, so for me, if I was Guardiola, I'd drop Foden and Kyle Walker. I'd play Matheus Nunes in midfield. I'd play Grealish. Or De Bruyne's back. De Bruyne might start on Sunday against Liverpool. You know what? I'd play Haaland, Matheus Nunes on the left alongside Haaland, and then Savinho on the right. And then I'm have a midfield three of Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva probably. Or I'd play Bernardo Silva in the front three and then put Matheus Nunes in midfield. I mean, City need legs. City need variation. They need agility. They need quickness of feet. They need someone that's going to cover ground, cover large spaces. I think Matheus Nunes is perfect. I don't think Foden presses in a way Guardiola wants, and that was City's problem on Saturday. The pressing was not there. Even when they went into a mid block, you know, it was still disjointed. You know, Foden didn't know where to be, didn't know where to position himself to stop Basuma receiving the passes from the seat from Tottenham CBs. You know, I'm seeing Haaland up there, Foden, you know, like 5 yards behind him, and I'm thinking, you know, what's going on? You know, this isn't the City that we're so accustomed to seeing dominating in and out of possession. You know, but yeah, a lot for Guardiola to ponder. And to be honest, I've been saying this for a while now. City, they need a real serious rebuild, especially in that midfield. I do feel they need Doku back as well. Doku's a big miss right now. Someone that can give them that unpredictability in the final third. Right now, City they're way too rehearsed in attack. They need someone that's going to do something different. Doku's a big miss. Again, he's injured. You know, but yeah, I do feel City need a big rebuild. If not in January, it has to be in January, because if not, then City are going to lose this title. As much as I want them to, they have to fix something in January. Guardiola has to do something, because, you know, yeah, right now Liverpool are running away with it. They're 8 points clear, and if City lose on Sunday, it's 11 points, and I know it's only 13 games after that, but you know, that does not signify, that does not send the right messages. No, that doesn't send the right signals, especially to City themselves as a group, as a unit. So yeah, Guardiola's got to change things on Sunday, but then in the long term, January, he's got to do some business. You know, I've been calling for City to go and get a mid. I think I said in one of the previous episodes, they need to get a short-term six, someone that can, you know, provide Gundogan and Bernardo Silva the opportunity to go up themselves. Gundogan's not going to cover the bases at the number 6. He has, as I said before, he can't cover large spaces. He can't, you know, follow the press. He can get easily bypassed. He hasn't got the legs. He's better as an 8, Gundogan, for me. Guardiola knows that as well. I think all City fans know that. So I think, you know, if City can go and get a short-term number 6, a Christian Norgard from Brentford, someone that I suggested in previous episode. But yeah, it's a lot for Guardiola to ponder. For me, to kick off their rebuild, I think their marquee signing needs to be Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. I think he would transform he would transform Man City's midfield for me. I think he's the perfect component, someone that can cover for Rodri, but someone that can excel alongside Rodri. I think I did put a Instagram post up or in my story where in my quick Q&A on my Instagram, if you want to follow me, Instagram, Anthony Scouts _UK, something like that, I think. I did a Q&A before this weekend's games, and I said, someone asked me, City can only make one signing next summer, which should be their marquee signing. I said Bruno Guimaraes, easy. I think he'll be transformational, excellent, number 6, number 8, wherever you want him in that midfield, he will excel. He can cover for Rodri, but he's got legs. He's a dual winner. He can win balls. He can cover spaces. He can cover ground. He plays with intensity. He plays with aggression, and that's what City need right now. City are, they're bleeding drive that. I think he'll be perfect for them. Bruno Guimaraes, yeah. Guardiola should look no further next summer. He's staying for 2 more years, so that means he's going to overlook the rebuild that's coming up. And 100 mil, Bruno Guimaraes is worth every penny for me. That's someone that can get City back on, top. But yeah, it's a lot to ponder. But yeah, I can't not speak about Tottenham. I thought they were exceptional. James Maddison, brilliant. When he's in the mood, when he's in that sort of mood, he is unstoppable. Maddison, one of the best number 10s in England, one of the best creative players in the country when he's in that mood. I thought it was excellent. Not just the 2 goals. The 2 goals took them really well, but we know how Maddison, he wants the ball. He's someone that demands the ball. Even at the Etihad, in such a crucial and high stakes game, the way he was demanding the ball in a deep line areas, from his centre backs, from Basuma, getting on the ball, picking up nice pockets of space. That really disjointed City's press, City's mid block. Progressing the ball when he was sitting alongside the back 2, making up a back 3 and trying to pick up houses and pick out the likes of Kulusevski and Sarr in between the lines and the pockets. I thought Maddison was excellent, and that's what he can do. He's a floater. You don't restrict him to one place, and that's what Postecoglou is giving him that freedom to find areas of the pitch where he feels he can make the most damage. And when Maddison does that, he's unstoppable. But the thing is, his problem is he doesn't do it over 30 games a season. Maddison, he will do that for 5 games and be missing for the next 5 games. That's his problem. And he turned 28 on Saturday. He's getting to an age where he needs to be doing these things consistently if he wants to be talked about in the same bracket as Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, all these creative guys that he needs to be doing it for 30 games a season. He does it 20 at most, and then the rest of the 18 you don't know where Maddison is. And again, if Tottenham want to be consistently challenging for the Champions League, they need Maddison playing in tip-top form for 30 games a season. And I think for me, as Maddison grows in age, those consistency levels need to be tip-top standard for me. But yeah, I thought it was excellent on Saturday. But the thing is, not just for Maddison, but for Tottenham, can they now carry that forward? Because I think I said on Instagram, I said Tottenham are the funniest institution in the Premier League. You go and lose to Ipswich Town away from on your own turf, and then the next game after the international break, you go and whack City at the Etihad. That if that doesn't scream inconsistency, I don't know what will. Tottenham need to now follow that up now, but their problem is lack of consistency. It's reflected in Maddison. But yeah, that's something Postecoglou will be urging. I think they got Fulham at home, and you can't not say Tottenham will go and easily win that game. Or you can't say Tottenham will go and easily win that game. I do feel I think do feel Fulham will be up for the challenge. You know, and Fulham could cause an upset as they have done for the majority of the season. But yeah, I thought Tottenham were exceptional on Sunday, but now let's see if they can carry that forward. You know, let's see if they can do that on a consistent basis. If they want to be getting the top four, they need to be winning games like that over a long stretch, of, you know, a long span of games. But yeah, I thought Madison was like Kulusevski was, wow, what a player. Dejan Kulusevski, wow. You know, for me, I prefer him on the right wing, but the more people make a case for him to play as a number 8, you know, I see it. You know, the way he moves with the ball, the way he carries himself, I think he's grown in maturity in the way he's taken responsibility in terms of creativity, grabbing the ball and beating his players, beating his opponents, beating his markers, leaving them for dead. And the thing is, he's not the fastest. Kulusevski is not the most. He's not the quickest. He's not the most electric. But the way the ball just stick to his feet, you know, it's so difficult to dispossess him. So difficult to knock him off balance. When he's on the ball, when he's in full flow, he's unstoppable. And the thing is, it's not just his dribbling ability, but his understanding, his tactical understanding, his wisdom, his knowledge in terms of picking up, like Madison. You know, he knows where to be in that middle third, in the final third, in order to damage defenses. For me, I think that's a big deal in terms of being a top level number 8 or top 10 or a creative winger. You know, where you're going to position yourself. How can you look at an opposition's low block and say, okay, where should I position myself to now disrupt this block and create opportunities? Players like Kulusevski can do that. You know, he's got that brain, he's got that willpower now, which is making him an elite level player. You know, so for me, Tottenham need to get to a level where, you know, Kulusevski is not carrying them; they are carrying Kulusevski with them. You know, and that means Champions League football on a regular basis, winning trophies, winning domestic cups. You know, or else Kulusevski can think, you know, I think this club's too, you know, I'm too big for this club, you know, can easily go somewhere else. Someone will easily pay him 100 mil for him. You know, he's worth that much, probably even more. But yeah, I thought he was exceptional on the day. I thought he was brilliant, unstoppable. You know, another, you know, Ben Davies and Dragusin. I'm not Draguson's biggest fan, but for Tottenham to go away and keep a clean sheet was brilliant. You know, City had chances; they weren't as clinical as they used to. Haaland missing crucial gilt-edged chances. But yeah, I thought Ben Davies and Dragusin was brilliant. Not just in their defensive play, you know, their box defender was really good, dominated their zones. You know, but Ben Davies and Dragusin, you really think they go to the Etihad and dominate like they did? I thought, you know, round of applause to them. I thought they were excellent. Pedro Porro, I think he's my type of right back. He's got everything. Creative, combative, you know, the way he you know, he's that inverted fullback. He's the perfect inverted fullback, the perfect creative fullback for me, Pedro Porro. When I look at my ideal right back in terms of how I want him to be good on the ball, you know, effective in the final third, but also, you know, defensively sound, solid, aggressive. Pedro Porro is the perfect picture for me. I thought it was brilliant. Took his goal really well. His ball striking is amazing. You know, and again, that's why he's what, out of all defenders in the Premier League over the past season or two, he's had the most shots, and that's because he can strike a ball clean. But yeah, a player with a complete profile. Fantastic player. But yeah, really good game. You know, and that takes us to Liverpool, Southampton. I thought Southampton were excellent. You know, I think Southampton gave going forward. I mean, Southampton shot themselves in the foot too many times. All 3 goals could have been avoided. I don't think Liverpool's third was a penalty, or Liverpool's penalty was a penalty. I don't think it was a penalty. For me, it came off his shoulder and went to his hand. You know, I thought the rule was if it comes off the a body part and goes onto the hand, it's not a penalty. You know, they're not going to give it. But when you're at the top and when you're in the form Liverpool are right now, they make their own luck. And you know, that's the luck they had. But yeah, I thought Southampton, so frustrating, conceding goals as they have done. I mean, that will ultimately be their downfall. You know, they can play all the good football they want. They can play, you know, but when you're making mistakes as such as they are, you know, it's only going to go one way, and you're going to suffer. And they have been. Unfortunately, you know, there were certain moments in the game where, you know, I think Carragher said it perfectly on comms. You know, there's certain times where you're playing a Liverpool team that love to counter press. You know, once they see opportunity, once they smell an opportunity to win the ball back high, they will do it. You know, there were certain opportunities where McCarthy was throwing the ball out after just, you know, just take some time to evaluate, you know, slow the game down, you know, look at the game in a different picture. Look at the situations about the pitch. Don't just go and throw it quickly and start a counter-attack and then lose it. You know, and that's where Liverpool's goals came from, unfortunately. You know, I think Aaron Ramsdale was a big miss. You know, he's someone that would have had the presence of mind to slow the game down and think, let's calm down here, guys. You know, we're 2-1 up. Let's slow the game down. Because if any team at the bottom can keep the ball, it's Southampton. But again, they make too many mistakes. And that's why, for me, Ipswich are my tip to, out of all the 3 teams that came up, Ipswich, Southampton, and who else? Who was it? Who came up with Ipswich and Southampton? I always forget this for some reason. Leicester City. Leicester City are gonna sack Steve Cooper. That's big news. But yeah, out of those 3, Ipswich was my tip to stay in the relegation, because they got a top coach, but also they don't make as many mistakes. They won't make as many mistakes as Southampton or Leicester do. You know, and you know, the way they press, the way they defend. We saw against United. I thought they were excellent against United. I thought they were excellent against us in all phases of play. The press, where they pressed in the 4-3-2-1 or 4-2-3-1. You know, didn't allow United to play through them. You know, it was all, you know, every time it was United had to play around them. And, you know, and that nullified United's threat. It's had the most quality chances. They really should have won the game. Onana, the reason why United didn't lose that game. Amarim's first game. So, but yeah, moving back to Southampton, you know, I think they will go down, but it's a case of whether they'll go down fighting or they'll go down with a whimper. And right now they're going down with a whimper. So, and it's the mistakes. That's their downfall. They're not scoring goals, and they're making too many costly errors, naive errors, if I must put it like that. Errors where you think you're in the Premier League, guys. You cannot be making those mistakes where you're losing the ball in crucial errors. You will get punished. But yeah, McCarthy was shocking for me. And if that's how Southampton are going to be playing for the next foreseeable future with Ramsdale out, you know, I fear for them, really. But yeah, Liverpool got the win. Didn't play as well as they could. Didn't play as well as they did. But, you know, when you're up there, when you're winning games like they are, you know, it's all well and good. For me, I don't think Liverpool played at their best. I still think Liverpool are breachable. I still think Liverpool can get beaten. We'll see how the fare against Real Madrid. I think their press is not as good as what their results and how their defense, you know, in terms of they've got one of the best defense in the league or the best defense in the league. I still think teams can breach them in the press. We saw how Brighton outplayed them in the first half of that game at Anfield, where Liverpool run out winners. You know, Liverpool can get beaten. You know, Konate and Van Dijk have looked unstoppable on the eye, but there were certain aspects of that game where, you know, wow. Konate was getting bypassed easily. Van Dijk was getting beaten, losing possession, crucial errors. I think that's what led to Southampton's I think the penalty, where, you know, Van Dijk back-heeled it on the halfway line. I'm thinking, what are you doing, bro? You're one of the best defenders in the league. What's going on here? But yeah, I do think Liverpool are still weak in certain areas in terms of the press. They're not as aggressive as they need to be. And the thing is, we'll see on Sunday how they'll cope against the City team, who are, still got bags of quality and have the personnel and the manager coaching Guardiola to win the game. So we'll see how Liverpool fare there. But things are not looking good in terms of the small details, the minor details. Liverpool they're winning and picking up points, which is brilliant. But if you want to keep it, if you want to have a sustained dominance, those small details need to be are so key. The fact that Liverpool, there's certain aspects of their press that is, teams can Southampton, the way Southampton were bypassing the press was so easy. So again, that's something Slot will need to look at. And they're playing Real Madrid this week. We'll see how they play. We'll see how they fare there again, and playing City on Sunday. I think if Liverpool come away with 6 points, wow. If Liverpool come away from these two games with 6 points, I'll be mightily impressed, because they had a really difficult stretch of games. They beat Villa, they beat Bayer Leverkusen. They went to St Mary's. I know they're expected to win, but they came away with the win despite not playing well, despite Southampton giving them as good as they got. Liverpool have more or less, 16 games out of 18 Slot has won, which is incredible. Incredible form. They beating Leverkusen, beating Aston Villa 2-0. They beat Brighton home and away in terms of the Premier League, the EFL Cup. Drew at Arsenal, beat Leipzig at their ground. So Liverpool picking up beat Wolves at their ground. Tough place to go. The Molineux, beat Bologna 2-0. But the next 3 games crucial. They got Real Madrid, but at home, City at home, and then they got Newcastle away, and then they got the Merseyside derby after that, the 7th of December, at Goodison Park. 4 games where we'll see whether Liverpool are made for this thing. So, but yeah, I do think they'll pick up wins here or there. I think they'll get 2 out of 4 at least. But yeah, we'll see how they fare there. But yeah, things are looking really impressive in terms of how relentless Liverpool are, in terms of how dogged they are, in terms of how determined they are. They may not be playing at their best. The small details may be getting exposed here and there, but they're still picking up wins. And it's impressive how Arne Slot has taken on Klopp's, team and molded it into his own. Then they're not as high intensity as it was on the clock, but there's still that measure of control. They're gonna score goals. When you got Salah in this form, the form that he's in, you're gonna win games. But yeah, I think the major news out of Liverpool right now is Salah's post-match interview, where he said, right now things are looking like me leaving rather than me staying. I think that's the major news coming out of Liverpool right now. Yeah, they're in this brilliant form, but the big news is Salah's future, Trent's future, Van Dijk's future. Right now things are looking bleak on that front. At least Trent and Salah as well. I don't, right now it looks like them two will be leaving. So if that is the case, what plan do Liverpool have in place to replace those two? Are they working on contingency plans right now? For me, Liverpool need to replace Salah adequately. I think that's imperative. Even if he does leave, I did pick out some players that they need to look at. Jared Bowen and Brian Mbuemo. I think they break the bank for those two. I don't think losing Salah will be as, what can I say, painful as you'd expect. But yeah, Salah is unstoppable. He will be a huge loss. So for me, if I'm on the Liverpool board, Salah, let's talk. What do you want? Here's the paper. Write down what you want. Let me give it to you. Liverpool cannot afford to lose a player of that star quality. And he, Salah said himself, he wants to stay. He wants to stay. He's a Liverpool legend. He's placed his name in the Liverpool folklore, you know. But yeah, it's up to the board. It's up to the Liverpool management and the owners. How much money do you want to offer him? You know, are you willing to offer him, you know, the money that he wants to stay? If Liverpool want to be dominating for you know, they need a player of a certain star quality. But again, if the worst case scenarios should come, they've got to have a contingency place in plan, or contingency plan in place. Sorry, you know, so it'll be crucial times ahead for Liverpool, especially going into the new year where Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk can be talking to clubs over a free contract. You know, so it's difficult moment Liverpool are in right now in terms of securing the futures of their key players. But yeah, moving on to, we saw Ipswich versus United. Amorim's first game. I can't lie, I wasn't expecting, you know, things to change so soon. I wasn't expecting us to see a style of play. I wasn't expecting us to see you know, improved measure of football and all that stuff. But what Amorim did guarantee United fans was we will see an idea. We saw an idea in terms of building up from the back, you know, free the back system, the way Dallo and Ahmad playing on, you know, as wing backs, you know, with their stronger foot away from the position that they're playing in. So Ahmad as a right wing back, as a left footer, Dallo playing the left wing back as a right footer, and how that, you know, affects the build up, how that affects, you know, getting the sixes into play and dictating the play. Like I said before, I thought Ipswich are excellent. The way they pressed and nullified, you know, United's threat. You know, they had their high XG, the quality of chances they created. They should have easily won that game, if not for Andre Onana. But yeah, I did see what Amorim was trying to do with this team. We need a major shake up. You know, but you know, it's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of players that are out right now. Luke Shaw came in and had a good cameo. We still got Lenny Euro to come back. You know, once we get that core, once Amorim gets that core, you know, once he knows that XI that he's got, I think he already knows, he has an idea of what that team is going to look like over the next few games. That core players, you know, Onana, Euro, De Ligt, Martinez, Mainu, Agate, Casemiro, or, you know, left wing back, probably Dallo, or, you know, Mazraoui, right wing back. But for me, I'd want Diallo as a number 10, you know. I thought he was phenomenal. Again, the way he created Rashford's goal, that's what United have needed for years. You know, we thought we were going to get that with Anthony, but Diallo, we had it under our noses, you know. Exceptional winger, exceptional player, small space quality, has the speed of thought, has the presence of mind, can keep the ball in small areas, can keep the ball under pressure. You know, even when we're playing out the front back a little, and Ipswich were, you know, pressing intensely, you know, the way Diallo was keeping the ball, keeping it close to his chest, winning duels, winning fouls, you know, and you also have to have the, you know, unfamiliar responsibility of tracking the fullback, you know, Leif Davis, who is arguably one of the best fullbacks in the league right now. Has created the most chances of anyone in the league when it comes to defenders. So, you know, he fulfilled that role perfectly. I thought him and Mazraoui were our best players. I thought they was exceptional. Play Mazraoui anywhere on the pitch, he will excel. You know, I thought he was brilliant. You know, under pressure, you know, the way he took the ball into the midfield third, you know, confidently, with assurance, with you know, a presence of mind. You know, he was excellent defensively. Stood his ground, won his duels. You know, is excellent in the air. But yeah, I thought Mazraoui and Diallo were our best two players. For me, there's still doubts about Rashford and Garnacho. You know, Rashford wasn't. He got his goal finally, but there was something. You know, he wasn't at his usual best in terms of, you know, running after people and running the channels, beating his man and having that same confidence and oozing class quality as we know he can do. You know, there's still something he's not. You know, he's not when he's running after you know, when there's certain points where it's during possession, you expect Rashford, let's go apply some little pressure. You know, you just, you know, walking, you know, and the things I don't want to be on his back like other United fans are and just criticizing him for the sake of it. But you know, there's certain aspects where, you know, Amarim's gonna want players to be 100% in terms of their off the ball characteristics and application. You know, Rashford is gonna need to apply himself in that respect. You know, even if you're a number 9, the front man, you've got to be on the job. You've got to be pressing, harrying, you know, running the channels, as Gyökeres did so brilliantly as for Sporting under Amorim. You know, running the channels, you know, getting involved in the play, winning. You know, sometimes when Onana kicked it long, I was thinking, Rashford, go, let's try and win the ball. You know, but you're getting beaten every time. You know, so there's certain things where Rashford would need to apply himself more. But yeah, you know, Amorim promised that we'll see an idea. We saw an idea. You know, it's not gonna be an overnight thing. There's still work to do. There's still a big job in his hands. But I loved what he said after the game, where he said that, you know, if we're not taking risks and winning games, the same problems that we're seeing now will persist in a year's time. So we need to take risks, and we need to know that we're gonna suffer, but it will be better in the long haul, you know. And it's up to us United fans whether we are ready to or we are willing to see us suffer right now and then reap the benefits later on. And that's a manager Amorim is. He's a man that looks at the process. He's a man that looks at the bigger picture. You know, I think the way he's going into detail about certain players, and how I was saying Bruno Fernandes, we saw him playing closer to the ball. But there's certain moments where he needs to stop kicking the ball long and trying to find the players in the counter. Let's keep possession. Let's control the game. Let's dictate the game. Let's dictate how this game is going to go. I think that was our problem. When we went ahead, we allowed Ipswich into the game so easily. You know, and Amorim recognizes that. You know, that's all about him. He's communicative. He's you know, he's approachable. He's personable. He's honest. He's clear and concise in what he says. Even though, you know, English is not his first language, as you can tell, but you know, when he speaks, you know what he's saying, and that's what I love. And that's why I think it will be in steady hands in Amorim. I think he's the right man. But yeah, the way he's been speaking in terms of how, you know, we're gonna have to suffer now and then reap the benefits later. How he was talking about players individually, what they can work on, what he didn't like from the match. You know, so it's stuff like that where I thought, you know, we're in good hands. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Football is not an overnight thing. You know, I know we're living in the microwave generation right now, where fans want things quickly. They want results quickly, quick. That's not how it works. You know, this is a project. Ineos have given this man 2.5-year contract, with the view for making it longer if things go well. And for me, I do think he will be there longer than the 2.5 years. I think this is our man. I think this is our guy that will allow us to get sustained trophies in the long haul. But yeah, we just have to stick it out right now. We just have to stick out the suffering. We're gonna suffer right now. But yeah, I think the next 2 games are games where it gives us a chance to impose ourselves tactically. We've got Bodo Glimt, the Europa League on Thursday, and then we've got Everton on Sunday. So, you know, I think both at Old Trafford as well. So I think those 2 games allow us to impose ourselves tactically. You know, and we know Amorim's going to be on the training pitch trying to get his message across and his ideas. But yeah, we did see an idea against Ipswich, but now let's see if that idea is now imposed upon in the next 2 games. Because I know we got Arsenal after Everton, so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be. Then I think we got Tottenham in the Carabao Cup as well next month. So some huge games coming up over Christmas as well. But yeah, between now and then, I know Amram's going to be drilling home his ideas and his philosophy. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, moving on, I want to keep this brief. We saw some really, really impressive results. West Ham beating Newcastle 2-0 at St James's Park. I thought West Ham were excellent because really I was expecting Newcastle to come out of the traps, dominate the game from the first minute, and to be honest, they did. They had a few chances. Isaac had a goal ruled out for offside, but once that happened, I thought West Ham took the game brilliantly. And it wasn't for the simple fact where they defended well. They shut the spaces in order for Newcastle's wingers to work in. Wan-Bissaka and Emerson, I thought, were brilliant in their individual duels. But it was the fact where I think for me, West Ham have been one of the most poorly coached teams in the league so far this season, and it's the simple fact where the midfield have been disjointed. They've not been able to keep the ball as they would have liked. And the thing I've noticed from former Lopetegui teams is that his midfield is what's won him matches. It's what's won him success. At Sevilla, he had Ever Banega, the likes of Suso, what's his name? Jordan. I forgot his first name. John Jordan. And so, all them guys that overpower opponents. He doesn't have that right now at West Ham. He had that at Real Madrid. He had that at one of his other clubs. I forgot. But he had a midfield where, he will rely on to win in the game. They will overpower they will overpower the opponents with the midfield. He hasn't got that at West Ham right now. But I thought Carlos Soler and Lucas Paquetá were fantastic at St James's Park. They controlled the game. They took the ball in settled possession. The way they progressed the ball, the way they kept things ticking over, unlike we've seen from West Ham in a long time. In terms of their in possession quality, because before when you see West Ham have the ball, they play it quick, direct, get the ball to Bowen, get the ball to Mikel Antonio, hold up the ball and play quick, fast, direct counter attacks. But right now, I thought in that game against Newcastle, they were actually playing really good football in settled possession, and that's because they had Lucas Paquetá and Carlos Soler picking up the ball in areas where they could dictate the game. And I thought they did that brilliantly and took their goals well. Souček's header, Wan-Bissaka's goal was brilliant. Bowen's assist, fantastic player. I love Jared Bowen. I really do, and I really hope and pray he's playing Champions League football in the near future. I really hope Jared Bowen is playing Champions League. This guy, underrated. For me, I love him. Get him in those final third. He's gonna score. He's gonna assist. I think the assist for Wan-Bissaka was brilliant. A lot of people try that and it doesn't come off, but he played that perfectly. For me, as I said before, if Salah leaves Liverpool got to be looking at Bowen. Bowen and Brian Mbeumo. But yeah, West Ham, impressive victory. Another noticeable victory, I thought was impressive. Wolves beating Fulham the way they did. Matheus Cunha, wow, what a player, bro. Matheus Cunha, wow. I think he's another player like Dejan Kulusevski, like João Pedro at Brighton. These guys have I think their game is just hit another ceiling, Matheus Cunha, his finishing has been better. Over the last 2 seasons where he's been at Wolves, where we thought his final third play and, before he gets to the box, it was excellent. But the finishing wasn't there. Right now, how many goals has he got? I think got 6 goals now. 7. Got 7 goals, seven Premier League goals now. I think his finishing has taken another giant step. And like I said before, his finishing was poor before. What, early last season and 2 seasons ago, it was all, his work was always based around the final third, getting the ball, holding it up, linking up with players, playing that false 9 role, but not being the focal point they needed in terms of scoring goals. Right now, he's doing all of that. He's the complete package right now, Matheus Cunha, and he's exceptional. Nicholas Jackson is another example. A player that's taken another ceiling in terms of their improvement, now scoring goals. But yeah, those kind of profile players, Cunha, João Pedro, Jorginho Rota, they're not only just, number 9s now, they're number 9s with the flair of a number 10, the flair, imagination, creativity of a number 10, but also the dribbling and awe-inspiring quality of an out-and-out winger. But they can do it in central spaces. Those kind of profiles are brilliant. Really unique profiles. Cunha, Rota, and João Pedro. Brighton have got 2 of them. And that's the quality. That's kind of quality that's making them, where they are on the table right now. On what, 22 points, a point behind City in second. So, but yeah, the way Wolves dispatch of Fulham, who, for me, Fulham have been my team of the season so far, apart from Liverpool. The way Wolves went there and beat them like they did was really impressive. Mightily impressed with that result. What other results there? Chelsea beating Leicester. I thought Chelsea dominated that game from start to finish. Yeah, got to talk about Steve Cooper. Steve Cooper sacked on, was it Sunday? I can't lie. When that news came out, I was shocked. I was shocked because Leicester haven't been that bad, but I guess fans weren't taken to Cooper's system or Cooper's style of play. I don't think the players were fully in line with what Cooper was trying to do, and Leicester owners thought, let's pull the trigger right now. But yeah, I don't think Leicester were as bad as what this sacking is making them out to be. But I guess, if you're an owner and you but if they were going to sack Cooper, why not do it during your international break? I mean, that's the question for me. Why do it now? And then I'm seeing reports where Leicester haven't got a man in place to replace him. So over the next few games, what's going to be the main aim? I thought if they're going to sack Cooper like they did, they'll have someone in place to quickly come in and replace him. But yeah, we're hearing that Graham Potter and David Moyes aren't in contention. So who is in contention? Who is going to take the job? That's a huge decision to be made. If Leicester really do want to stay in this league, I really thought Cooper, he's got the experience of keeping teams in the league. He did it with Forest, I think, twice. I really thought Leicester were going to stick with him, even though style of play isn't there. But right now, Leicester have just come up. You need results. You need someone that's experienced in getting you results, as well as giving you a style of play where over time that's going to come. But right now, getting you results where you're confident, and you're confident in the fact that he's got the experience, the know-how to get teams over the line. But yeah, really shocking news for me. I know I'm not a Leicester fan. I know I haven't seen the ins and outs on what's been going on in and around the club, but I thought that was a surprise decision. And then the simple fact that they haven't got a manager lined up, it's disappointing. I thought the way they announced it, I would have thought, okay, 2 days later, they've got someone already. But that's not the case, what I'm hearing. So we'll see who they come up with. Another surprise result: Crystal Palace getting a draw at Aston Villa. I did have a little lottery going on with a few friends where I thought, I predicted Villa were going to be one of the teams to come out this weekend victorious. I should have picked Arsenal. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, Crystal Palace, excellent. fantastic result for them. You know, the amount of injuries they've got right now, their squad is stretched thin. But yeah, Ismail Assar, you know, coming up trumps the way he did, coming out of that game with a goal and an assist. You know, Mateta, you know, playing his part. Yeah, impressive. Crystal Palace going to Villa Park, one of the toughest places to go in the league over the past year or so. You know, going there and getting a resounding, well, when you say resounding, you think it's a win, but a draw where you said Palace do not deserve coming away with a loss. They came with a draw, and that you know, they could have easily sort of won the game as well. So yeah, I thought they were excellent. Arsenal, routine win over Forest. I did think Forest were going to put up more of a fight given their form and how they played over Forest. Under Nuno Espirito Santo, but yeah, Arsenal easily dispatched them. I mean, you can think you think now Arsenal are back to their best now that they got Odegaard, got Saka in full flow. You know, Calafiori is back. I thought it was excellent. The way he manipulated Forest's mid block and created Arsenal space in the middle third to exploit and penetrate. He's back in full frying, you know, having fullbacks in that mode in terms of Jurriën Timber and Calafiori. Wow. You know, I think Arsenal are back to some sort of form right now. I think we're gonna see them go on a span of games where they're gonna just dominate. Hopefully not against us. You know, so hopefully, but yeah, I think Arsenal are back to their best. What other results were there? Yeah, I think, Everton 0-0 against Brentford. Everton's problem, not scoring goals. Can't score goals. They just can't. Brentford, I think, but the thing is, Everton had so many chances. Everton should have won that game by 3 goals. They just can't score. Brentford very fortunate to come with a draw from that game. But yeah, I do think Brentford need a focal point in attack quickly. If what's his name, the new signing can come back quickly. I've forgotten his name now. Yeah, Igor Thiago. Yeah, if they can get him back in the right frame of mind, right, you know, physical levels, I think Brentford will start picking up points like they did when they had Tony. But you know, they need a character and a personality up there to allow Mboimo and Wissa to do their thing consistently. And I think Thiago was the man to do that. But yeah, if they can get him back quickly from his injury, I think there'll be a huge boost for Thomas Frank. But yeah, moving on to, you know, Newcastle. I forgot to mention that, you know, Newcastle, I did, as the game was going on, I you know, displayed my thoughts on X, where I thought Newcastle can improve. I do think they need a right winger. They need a creative right winger. Someone that is a left-footed right winger, plays on the right foot, but you know, someone that can, you know, raise the ceiling, raise the technical floor of Newcastle. I think what's holding Newcastle back right now is the lack of ingenuity on that side. You know, Eddie Howe right now has to overcompensate or compensate for the fact that they don't have a creative genius on there. He has to play Joe Linton. He started Joe Linton there, where Newcastle looked, there was a lack of balance. There was a lack of, you know, they weren't at their fluid best. I do think they need someone there to, you know, open up the pitch a bit. You know, get them playing more expansive football. Get them creative juices flowing in the final third. I think West Ham dealt with their attacking threat really good, especially in the second half. And that's because Newcastle don't have that creative edge anymore. But I do think they need a right winger, someone that can raise the ceiling of the whole team. I noted a few players, Eden Zagova from Los Lille, Zagrova. I think he'll be exceptional. If they can put in a bid for him, probably in January, if they have the money and the funds to do that, I think he'll be brilliant for them. Marcus Edwards of Sporting, Amorim's former attacking lieutenant. He's another candidate who I think will be brilliant for them. Brian Mbeumo, of course, but I don't think he's gettable in January. But yeah, Edon Zagrova and Marcus Edwards, I think, will be likable or gettable targets in January. I think Newcastle need that ASAP. If they're going to mount a challenge for a top 4, top 5, they need players of that ilk. If they can go in the Championship, I know a talent right now in the Championship, Morgan Whittaker, who's under the management of Wayne Rooney. I think I suggested him for Crystal Palace when they're another team who need a creative right winger, someone that can take Michael Olise's place. I suggested Morgan Whittaker in previous episode. I think he's someone that Newcastle should look at. They need that desperately for me. Someone that can raise the technical floor, someone that can raise the ceiling, someone that can allow Isaac and Gordon to do their thing, create chances for them, but also take the burden off them as well. I think Zagrova, Edon Zagrova, and Marcus Edwards are gettable targets in January. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I do think they need a capable 6 as well. I think Newcastle need a proper number 6, someone that can release Bruno Guimaraes and do his best work at number 8. I suggested Guimaraes for Man City. But yeah, because you'll have someone in Rodri who will allow him to do his best work in number 8. Getting Bruno Guimaraes in those advanced areas, exceptional player. He can do it at number 6, but I think if Newcastle want to get to that next level consistently, they want to, I think they need to sign that number 6 and that right winger. I think for me, those are the 2 areas they need to strengthen most. But yeah, we'll see how much money they have in January, whether Eddie Howe will be given the funds to spend. Because I think Newcastle are too inconsistent right now, and it's those 2 areas that are leaving them well short of actually, taking that next level and challenging for a top 5, top 4. But yeah, still early in the season to go for 12 games in. But yeah, I think January will be a big month for a lot of teams in the Premier League. I think it'll be a big month. United as well, whether Amorim will be given a signing or 2, whether players will be leaving in order to make space for those kind of signings. It's going to be a big month for a lot of teams. This January will be one of the most busiest we've seen for a while. I'm making however silly prediction here, but I do think this January will be a lot more busier than we're expecting. But yeah, we're really in for a really exciting, thrilling, busy, engaging winter period of football. Champions League coming up this week. Europa League's back as well. Some really brilliant games. Aston Villa, Juventus, one to look out for. Of course, Liverpool, Real Madrid at Anfield. I think Arsenal have got Sporting. So we'll see how Sporting fare without Amorim. Some other really good games in the Europa League. City, United, Amorim's first game at Old Trafford against Bodo Glimt. I think Tottenham have got an exciting game this week as well. I think they're playing Roma. Yeah, Tottenham playing Roma at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Thursday. That's a really good game. But yeah, this winter period is going to be really exciting. German Bundesliga, Italian Serie A. If you have a look at the Italian Serie A table, so tight. Napoli, Lazio, Inter, Juventus, Fiorentina, all 2 points separating all of them. Really exciting in Serie A right now. So we're in for a really engaging and captivating few weeks leading up to the new Christmas and New Year's. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready for a bumpy ride. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching another episode of Anthony Scouts. Please like, subscribe below. But yeah, share your thoughts how this next few weeks will go about. Will Liverpool still be where they are come the new year? Will City beat in and around them? with a few points. Can Arsenal get back to those levels? Will Chelsea join them? What about United? How will United look between now and New Year? Yeah, some really exciting subplots to feast upon. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me out. And peace.